Ah, there we are. There we are indeed. Hello, everyone. Because, baby, now we've got Bad Blood. You know, it used to be Mad Love. So take a look at what you've done. Because, baby, we've now got some Bad Blood. Or a review, at least. Hello, everyone. Welcome to BunkaMania UK on this lovely Sunday afternoon. I'm, of course, the Dekker Dane, joined by Harriett and Matty. Hello, everyone. How are we doing?
We're doing fine. We're doing super fine. Super tired, but super fine.
Yes, and we are here to talk about all things Bad Blood, WWE Bad Blood, which took place last night. So it's going to be our usual kind of 1 hour review. We're going to go through the show play by play. We're going to talk about the highlights, the lowlights, and everything in between. And if you'd like to share your thoughts in the chat, whether you're watching on Twitch or on YouTube, do get involved. We would love to hear your thoughts. And just out of the gate, we've had 2 Taylor Swift references in the space of 2 videos, especially if you've been watching our Chaperone movie video, which came out yesterday. But enough about the Chaperone. Let's talk about Bad Blood. Took place last night in Atlanta, Georgia. A lot happened. I think what we'll do is always we'll have our general thoughts of the show, and then we'll get into straight things with that. So let's start off with Harriet. What do you think of the show overall?
It was good. I wouldn't say it was the best premium live event that they have done this year. There were some questionable decisions, obviously, in regards to what would be main event, which I think was wrong, and so many interferences, which I didn't realize. But in all, yeah, I think for it being Bad Blood and being the emphasis of how big this pay-per-view was going to be, it was okay, but it could have done a bit more, so it kind of wasn't 100% for me, but it was still watchable.
Good. And Matty?
It was a reasonable filler arc placeholder that got us into the destination we needed for War Games, but as a show in its own right, for me, it was basically just a 2-match card. And it may be the fact that we stayed up and watched this, but it was also incredibly knackering. By the time we reached the main event, we were ready to tap out. And that's a kind of a damning indictment of the show overall, really. Nothing it's really done to deserve that assessment, but it is what it was. I went in with this feeling that it was going to be just a placeholder show, and I left with the overall feeling that it was a placeholder show. Although we will get to the lovely ending at the end.
Indeed. I thought overall it was an okay show. It's pretty much bookmarked by a very, very strong Hell in a Cell match. It's bookmarked with an okay main event, which is all about the final 10 minutes rather than anything else. And the rest in between was fine. It didn't feel like it was premium live event worthy, or there was some just unfortunate kind of storytelling knocks or presentation knocks that kind of took things down. And then also there was some announcements for upcoming shows, which also really left a bit of a sour taste in everyone's mouth. So yeah, it's just, Bad Blood is just, I mean, don't get me wrong, I was kind of excited for the show because obviously they really hyped up the Hell in a Cell match, and rightfully so when we come to the show review. But yeah, it's like usually you kind of come out feeling kind of, things are kind of filler, but you're really happy with the quality of the wrestling. And it wasn't even on that level, which is a bit of a shame. So I think with all absolute certainty, the Hell in a Cell match saved this card, because otherwise this would have been kind of like a, oh, really? All right, then. We carry on, to be perfectly honest. And with some of the matches in particular, I think even with like the main event, you had built up some decent little storytelling beats, but the actual match itself just felt like a chore to sit through, literally like a chore to sit through. And it's like, and that's the thing with mostly Bloodline matches now. It's like you'll have like a 10-minute space of 10, 15 minutes of just, oh, well, it's just rest holds and occasional power-up moves. And then it's just like hot tag, everything goes wrong. Everything goes full cylinders for a finish. Yeah, pretty much. In the chat, we've got Peter Sedorn. It was middle of the series, just move the plot along a little show. There we go.
So the filler arc.
Yes, the filler arc indeed. So let's get straight into things here. So we started off with the introduction of the hosts of Bad Blood, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi, all dressed in blood red, mostly just to say hello, welcome to Bad Blood. They were used throughout the evening. They had like a VIP lounge where all the cool people hung out. It's like they were really cool people. They had shades. They were bobbing along to like the music, all that sort of stuff. I knew no one in the background. They all just kind of looked like fake VIP people.
Can I point out? Can I point this out?
Yeah.
Everybody and their dads, if you included DDP, Arn Anderson, and Tully Blanchard in that big old ravey party, just stood out like a sore thumb.
I mean, the only kind of big thing about the sort of VIP segments is Chelsea Green turned up and she was asked to leave because she was still smelling after the dumpster match she had on SmackDown. Even Piper to enjoy the party, but it was just like, yes, there are hosts. There's a bit of glamour. Remember, they are the tag team champions, by the way, Belair and Cargill. Remember that, please, on the show, and then we just move on. And then it started off with a nice cold open of a movie caliber. Cody Rhodes, approached by Triple H, so saying, hey, I need you to go and look at Atlanta. Bad Blood. Why? I don't know. Bad Blood. Here's a file. Got to do it old school. It's an old pay-per-view that we're bringing back. We got to do it old school, classic style, you know? So, yeah, go get Metro Boomin. Go hide in the car. Watch the stadium.
Yeah. Because
it's like, why?
Nothing quite says old school than Metro Boomin.
Successful hip hop artist, and I think did a good portion of the songs in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse as well. Is it across or into? No, across the second one, isn't it? Because I listened to the end credit song for that film on repeat because it's a really good song. It's kind of anime-esque to me as well.
Yeah,
it's kind of like.
I still need to watch because I was told it was a 2-part movie, so I thought I'd wait for the second part, which may take some time.
Yes.
So I might just pull the plug and pull the trigger and just watch it, I guess.
I would say still watch it at least. It's artistically a very, very astonishing film. Frustrating that we have to wait quite a while, but understandably so with the quality they mentioned there. But yes, this whole cold open led us straight into the opening match, which was CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, having the final match in their blood feud, quite literally blood, in Hell in a Cell. And this, I think because we watched this, we did our own little Discord call watching the event all together. We were also joined by Draphamy as well, Jeremy Graves, who's always a thoughtful and our friend. I don't know where that was going, but basically it's nice. We don't really watch a lot of wrestling with Jeremy half the time. Sometimes with the WWE shows, it was actually quite nice to watch Bad Blood with him, and he kind of made a quick reference of like, going, oh yeah, this match is probably going to go until midnight, isn't it? Because it started at 11 p.m. our time.
Jer Bear, right? He was a grumpy boy throughout that entire watch party, and it was an utter joy to experience.
It was different.
It's always the sort of the kind of alternate opinion, which is always good to take into account when you're looking at the shows like this.
Yeah.
Especially when we were really obsessed that the show was sponsored by Wendy's Saucy Nuggets.
Morgan and Morgan.
God. Morgan and Morgan, where there can only be one.
All the lightning.
Okay, let's set the scene for people. Well, if you've watched this, you know what exactly we're talking about. So it's like a lawyer firm, and their choice of slogan involved a relatively more than middle-aged man with lightning all around him and white-outed eyes like he was Raiden from Mortal Kombat. But to me, every time I looked at this, I just thought of Highlander, like the whole time. And it just looked like unintentionally hilarious. I'm sure he's supposed to make himself look intimidating. He probably even paid to have that done. But it was still funny as hell every time. But the other thing is, near the end, in order to keep our energies up, when we were having the punching back and forth, we started launching into a chant of juicy nugs.
Saucy.
Saucy, sorry.
Yeah.
Saucy nugs. Saucy nugs. It's like,
Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great if all wrestling feuds were over saucy chicken nuggets?
give it time.
Wouldn't it? Wouldn't. In the chat, there can only be one lawyer. And his name is Morgan.
Here they are, born to defend. They're the lawyers of the universe.
But back to Hell in a Cell.
Yes.
Lovely clean segue there. Back to Hell in a Cell. I think all three of us are probably in agreement here. Arguably the best match of the night, and arguably should have been the main event.
Yes.
Absolutely. Now we know why the other match was the main event, and I ain't happy about it, but that's fine.
We'll get to that in a little bit. But yes, they built this matchup as this was going to be the end, the big finale, where basically all hell was going to break loose, and rightfully so. Within kind of like 5-10 minutes, CM Punk's already sort of bleeding open thanks to a good claymore and a couple of smacks against the cell door. It just escalated. It just really escalated, like throughout this whole like long run time. And it's like, and I think that's probably why sometimes the Hell in a Cell stipulation works so well with the right storytelling and with the right competitors, because you can take the seriousness of the stipulation to another level as the match goes on. And in previous years, because of the Hell in a Cell premium live event PPV, the pay-per-view, because it's been oversaturated for years and years and years because of that annual event. Obviously, Hell in a Cell lost a bit of luster, and I think since Trips took over creative, including this one, there's only been 3. I think it's like
so.
So it's like Edge and Seth, Edge and Finn, and then this one. So it's like it's being used sparingly, which is good because then it gives you that element of real danger, real shit's about to go down here.
It shouldn't be the paper. It shouldn't be the match you put in because it's not October. It should be the match that ends a feud, and I hope this feud is now over. Please let it be over.
I think it is. I think this is a definitive ending, to be perfectly honest. Yes, there was blood, lots of blood. McIntyre was opened apparently the hard way through the flung toolbox, which required 16 staples to seal the wound. I mean,
it did feel like I don't think Drew would be stupid enough to blade that deep into his head. We were talking about this when we were watching the show itself, and yeah, sure enough, that was a hard way, and boy, was it a hard way.
And I mean, it's the thing is, like, there were some very kind of, I think, it's like, I wouldn't say well, they are horrific visuals, because it's like, you had occasional shots of McIntyre just completely face covered in blood, just sneering anger, and they were great visuals. And again, it kind of lends to like the shocking nature of Hell in a Cell and how it is supposed to be this dangerous structure or this dangerous kind of landscape where anything could possibly happen. I mean, weapons of choice in this match in particular, toolbox, lots of wrenches were used to try and gouge each other. The table legs, which I thought was inventive, which we thought at one point Punk had actually kind of speared like part of it into his head. Literally.
I don't think he knew. I don't think he knew.
No, I don't think he knew either. I don't even think that spot was even planned, because if you've seen the look of confusion, like befuddlement on Drew's face when he first tried to set up that table, either that is fantastic acting on his part, or they did not plan that because of the awkward nature in which they originally started to utilize it. Yeah. So the fact that he thrust that down like he did, and we could all see that jangly bit just hanging out there, it's like, oh my God.
It's like, no, don't bring it down on him. Please don't. I mean, think of Drew McIntyre's. I think Drew McIntyre's put in a hell of a performance in this match, especially towards the end with the claymore that sent his back into the steps. It's like, with my lower back pain from the last year or so, I even felt that.
Oh,
it's like,
It's like they looked at the all out lights out match and said, how can we utilize that and yet be safe with it? You know, how can we go and do that but not cross the line, if you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because the timing of it just seemed very, very coincidental.
Yeah, and
And
so
instead of needles, you had bracelet beads.
absolutely needles, and absolutely bracelet beads instead of needles. I think there's a slight lag, Harriet, on your side. So I was a bit of chicken, but
yeah.
okay, I'll carry on for the time being. So yes, as Harry did say, it did finish up in a very kind of, well, I would say it ended with a reflection back on the whole bracelet, the whole friendship bracelet situation. Drew McIntyre brought a big bag of beads with him, little plasticky beads, which is really, really painful and all that sort of stuff. Yes, he tried to feed. He fed them to Punk, and he was going to try and claymore him, and then that gave him the lower back pain. And then Punk decided, you know what, you should have some beads as well. And then,
do you know
and
what?
Then,
if this was the start of a certain regime, this would have been, and everything would have been licensed. This could have been licensed by Skittles Taste the Rainbow, because everyone just seemed to be feeding everyone candy. You know,
taste the pain, taste the plastic,
taste the friendship.
Taste the friendship. Yes, and then Punk used a steel chain around his leg. GTS for the victory, and Magnificent selling after the match, leaving the cell and kind of collapsing, needing EMTs coming out and him going, no, I've got to go call my wife, and then just slowly kind of staggering himself back over to the runway. But yeah, generally, it's by far it was the most captivating match, and rightfully so. It was the best match on the card, and it makes you a bit frustrated because when you look at the rest of this card and you feel the energy for the matches after this, it's very hard to really get energized getting back into it, I suppose.
This needed Gunter and Sammy. I'm going to say it now. This card needed Gunter and Sammy. What we got instead of that was just a pointless exercise in trying to big up something we didn't need to have, really. They could have done that on a Raw. They could have done that on the weekly programming. And I think they bigged up. We'll talk about it when we get there, but they bigged up something far too much and took up way too much time for something that could have had that Sammy and Gunter match. That is what we needed. We needed something like that. We needed something with actual teeth, but not to the extent of the Hell in the Cell, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Harry, your thoughts?
I'm worried to say anything now because of the delay. Very bloody. I really enjoyed it. I did grimace a lot during this, even to the point I was thinking, oh, this is a bit too much for me. And I was having food at the time, and I was like, I might just wait and see how this goes. But in all, I enjoyed this. I'm so annoyed this was not the main event. Unbelievably, I wish this was the main event, but I can understand why they did, but also WWE booking. But it was just like a good way to end this feud. I did love the way that they used the bracelet beads in this, and it was kind of like a counterback with Drew prior breaking the beads and putting them in Punk's mouth, and now it was the opposite way, and it was I just hope he didn't swallow any. But in
Hopefully
all,
not.
Exactly. But in all, I really enjoyed it. My match of the night, probably contender of match of the year as well for me, for 2024. I thought it was incredible. And it will finish it. I think Drew will probably take a break now until Royal Rumble, because it gives him kind of that stipulation of how badly Punk did beat him, and obviously that attack on his back, oh my lord, that was painful. I suffer with back pain now and then, and even I was just like, nope, I don't like that at all.
No.
But it was horrible, but in all, loved it. But I'm just so annoyed it was not main event.
Yeah.
They tried to emulate the center block spot from All Out, only doing it the WWE way with what they had, and what they had was the steel steps. But yes, just gonna vamp for a little bit of time here while we try and sort out Harriet. So Peter Sidden on the YouTube chat has just said that the choice of the main event isn't necessarily WWE booking, it's Dwayne booking, and I'm inclined to agree on that one. However, like I said, we will get to that when we talk about that match. But yeah, Peter, mate, I'm absolutely in full agreement there. You will have that discussion, my friend. But yeah, not really much else I can really say about that match. Only it did the job, and to be fair, sorry, my brain's turning to mush about it. It's the opening match did its thing. And there's been a lot of discussion on what qualifies as the main event. And a lot of the current day mindset is that if you don't go out last, your actual co-main event should open the show. And then, as much as I agree with that sentiment, also from like a storyline pacing note, this felt like the one you put out last. It felt like the thing that you built up to. Its actual namesake was Bad Blood, which was the debut of the actual Hell in a Cell. Everything indicated that this should have been the show you put in as your main event. And then we have the Bloodline. And yeah.
We will talk about the Bloodline segment a little bit later on. So yes, Helen. So just a quick question. I think just a show of hands. Have you both seen the all out match between Swerve and Hangman? No, Matty has.
I definitely have, because I did a review about it, Dane.
You definitely have. You definitely have. Sorry, it's been like I said, it's like I only woke up about 12 p.m. today. I had a lovely line of sleep. It was nice.
Oh, you!
Yeah, I got up 11.
I got up at 5. I got up at 10. She got up at 11. I was awake until at least 4:45.
I have seen bits of the match, so I've seen the essential bits. Put it that way.
So my general question, because obviously we had a bit of, I think there was a lot of an online discourse about kind of how far do you really go in a match, especially when it's like a lights out or like a big feud match or something when has a stipulation that's very akin to like Hell in a Cell or something like that. Is there an absolute I'm under the impression there seems to be an absolute limit of how far you really should be taking some stuff in wrestling. And I kind of feel the Hell in a Cell match took it to like the borderline kind of okay, because I think if it went any further, if it went any kind of uber further, further beyond, because it's like we had the like the shocking image of Drew completely covered in blood. Yeah. I think if we went anything further, that was just it just feels like it might have been just too much for sensibility's sake, especially when you're technically a PG product still for WWE.
I think what made this work overall was, yes, it was brutal. Yes, it was bloody. Yes, it was hard to watch. My main issue, like nearly a few weeks in now from All Out, was there was a lot of spots in that other match that just seemed absolutely unnecessary in the long run. Like, why shove a hypodermic needle through Swerve Strickland and drugging him and impaling him with the needle afterwards, when all you were going to do was just smack him across the head as hard as you could with a chair almost immediately afterwards? It just seemed like a brutal spot just for the sake of a brutal spot, and wasn't even the exclamation mark at the end. And that's my main takeaway from something like that. It was like a lot of brutal spots that ultimately didn't need to be taken. With that being said, Swerve Strickland has absolutely defended like all the decisions made with that main event. He said, "What were you expecting? This is an unsanctioned match. This is what we've been building up to. It was going to be violent. It was going to be like it." My counterpart argument to that was, okay, AEW have washed their hands. They don't want to talk about it. This is not part of the show. It was your decision to watch. The referee still stopped it though, didn't he?
Fair point.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't have your cake and eat it, guys. Really, you can't just go, well, la da 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 da. It was supposed to be brutal. It's fine. Don't be such a baby. Blah blah blah. Yeah, but the referee still stopped it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as a counterpoint as well to kind of going kind of all bad on AEW with that. I think some people. I mean, one or two of the people that were watching the stream with us didn't watch this match in particular when the blood started because it just was uncomfortable. And then it's kind of like this sort of match, the sort of demonstration of like scripted violence, I suppose, is not for everyone, to be very honest. But no, I think if it is just a one-off and we don't see this sort of level of like brutality for a while in WWE, then it's okay in like short, sharp, shocking measures. But yeah, there's a time and a place. I think if everyone's going, oh yeah, we're gonna have lots of blood now in these matches, like, no, you don't. It's fine. No. Leave it. Leave it. It works for the purposes of the storyline here. Anywho. So the match that had the tough task of following Hell in a Cell was Nia Jax versus Bayley for the WWE Women's Championship match. It was, I mean, the result was never really in doubt. I think we all kind of sensed Nia Jax was retaining. And it's a bit, I don't like being me on this one because it's like, despite the fact I feel Nia Jax has really improved in the ring since coming back, this one felt rough at times. There were a few spots that just looked bad. There was the Hurricane Rana attempt, which just looked very, very strange. Matty, your finger raised. Yep.
I'm actually going to do a small defense for Nia Jax here because although it was very much clumsy in places, the fault has to lie on both of those women because there was points there where Bayley oversold things as well, which made the moves look even clumsier. I know that the main idea is try and make the other person look good, but in this case, in doing so, it kind of contributed towards the overall clumsiness of the match. So a small defense of Nia here. It took two to tango, and both of these ladies, from one way or another, it just, at the end of the day, it just wasn't a good match. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and my point there, I wasn't trying to criticize Nia in particular. It's just sometimes it's like those sort of. It's sometimes I think with Nia Jax matches, especially at the moment, it's about having the right partner to make it work. And there've been some really good matches. I think she's had some really good matches with Becky Lynch, and she came back. I was quite happy with the match she had with Lyra Valkyria at Queen of the Ring, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's just. I think sometimes the moves can come across really kind of. It's a body type thing. It's a body. I guess because it's. So I need to clarify that one because I'm kind of saying maybe it's the size difference. Sometimes certain moves don't necessarily work.
Yeah. My counter argument though isn't really anything that you have said. By the way, Dane, basically, a lot of people were very, very quick to get on the attack from Nia Jax due to previous incidents and that. People give people the chance to try and improve themselves, to better themselves, to prove they can be like the wrestler they can be. And I do think that Nia has improved in the time that she's been away and she has returned. My other main criticism in all this is the WWE tend to treat her like the second coming of Yokozuna. She literally has now adopted the bonsai drop. And I think she's better than that. I think she can be better than that. So I hope we move away from that at some point and show that she can prove her worth in other ways.
Yeah. But also, again, kind of more of a positive aspect as well is we're seeing new things being tried.
Yeah.
No, it's trying new things as well. So it's good. It's good to see the trying. So it's kind of like it's a positive and a negative per se, really. But yeah, it's just I think even some basic stuff just seemed very, very rough. Other than kind of like trying new stuff. Because I think there was a weird Samoan drop, which looked very nasty, like a very nasty landing for Bayley. I'm not sure. That's just me. But I think the tail end of the match kind of helped it out a little bit. The comical ref bump of Nia just flattening the poor ref. And then of course Tiffy time comes out and everyone's celebrating for Tiffy time. And it's like Tiffany really wants to cash in, but it's just, and I think I might have called that. I think I might have called this in the Discord chat of just Nia just sitting up like the Undertaker.
Yes, you called it like within a moment of it happening, and that was not the first time we conjured up things that to happen. We started becoming a bunch of Nostradamuses. We really did. We'll talk about that later. But the other thing, the other little things, props go to, because Sean has brought this up in the Twitch chat. Oh, by the way, as we say again, please engage with us in both the chats. We're on Twitch. We're both on YouTube. It's always a good time to be had by all. He's brought up the fact that Jessica Card did that ref bump. The setup for that was beautiful. And the fact that it wasn't just, oh no, I've been hit, I've been scraped, time for me to act dead. Jessica tried to get up. And then she got squashed again as she tried to get up. And that was like the final blow. And that was beautiful to watch on all three of those women's parts. So that was probably, ironically, that was probably the move of the night for that match.
And then yes, it ended with Tiffany trying to consider cashing in, and then Nia getting up. It's like, friend, what are you doing? Friend, what are you doing? Friend, wait one moment. I'm going to do a Bayley. I think Tiffany did also interfere with throw. I think she threw the case at Bayley.
She did, yeah.
And then of course Nia did the banzai drop, and it also did a little cheeky wink to the camera, and she got the free count.
Was cool.
Yes, and then Nia is still champion. I mean, the question is, where does the story go for Nia and Tiffany? I mean, I think the likelihood is she is going to cash in on Nia at some point. The question is when, really.
We had a mini discussion when we were watching it together, and I think, Harry, you seem to think that Tiffany will eventually become babyface, whereas I think this is going to lead to Nia turning babyface. I think Tiffany is going to be much better as a heel, and Nia has proved she can play babyface in the past, and I think that Nia is slowly becoming more likable, so I think that Nia will eventually turn.
I think in this day and age with Nia, this is her best run so far. I think I've said it in past podcasts as well, that I think this is my favorite run of hers so far. But last night really felt like when back in the day when she was wrestling with the moves and whatnot. But I could kind of see her as a baby face, but at the moment, the way the storyline is going and the whole threatening of Tiff a lot, because she's threatening to use the money in the bank case and the cash-ins as well. It's just like, I see Tiff more becoming a face at this point, but I don't know. WWE is very fickle at times. That makes you kind of which side do you go with? But this match in all, but the whole thing with the turn-in, I could see it happening, but then again, thinking about it, when you said that last night, I was like, wait a minute, they really could do this, because you're right, Nia has had a baby run. Has she had a baby run?
She has.
I'm sure she has.
She was the baby face in the run-up to the feud between her and Alexa Bliss.
Yes.
When Alexa Bliss started attacking Nia over her weight, which, by the way, bad call, because Alexa Bliss has fought against bulimia. And Nia Jax is obviously a woman of a heavy set weight. That's bad form to have both of those women involved in that kind of storyline. And it's boring. It's low-hanging fruit. Be better, WWE.
Yeah.
I badly remember. I'm going to go full screen for this. I badly remember when Nia won the championship from Alexa Bliss at Mania, and just basically looked at the camera and went, "Be a star, be a superstar." Yes. the most awkward forcing in of their community programs about anti-bullying stuff.
That whole Be a Star campaign as well, when we all knew, hello, calling Kettle Black here, you're in one of the biggest bully cultures in the world, and you're telling people to not be bullies, and the people that you're choosing to do that campaign are all bullies on screen. So what are you achieving?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Anyway, we move on to the one of two Judgment Day matches. First up was Finn Balor taking on Damian Priest. Blood feud that obviously started from SummerSlam. Finn very, very angry with Damian for just costing him championship after championship. And yes, this was supposed to be obviously the big first proper battle between them. It was a lively match. They clearly went for hard strikes. It was quite nice to see roundhouse kicks, a lot of roundhouse kicks as well. And even Damian Priest yeeted Finn right across the table during the match. It was like yeet, and there goes Finn, gone forever. Before we start, Finn coming out of his
the mask.
I was going to say it's nice that Finn believes in safe sex because he made sure he put a condom over his head before he got in.
And his entrance is simply.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like because we were talking about this. He was wearing that weird head sock. Everything just had FXXX everywhere. The rings, the entrance, the whole lot. And we were just saying, can we swear, Dane? It was like,
I'll let you for this bit. Yes.
What? Why? What's with all the fucks?
I think with a very bad Irish accent, I kind of went, "Is your name Balor? Is it Fuck Balor? Well, welcome to Fuck Balor Club."
That is very insensitive, Dane, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
I'll allow it. I'm Irish. She's fine. I tell you, FC UK is definitely going to have a good fashion campaign next year with that logo, I suppose.
Yeah, just basically, well, there you go, brand synergy WWE, work with the FC UK shop brand, Finn Balor with his weird thing over his head. Hey,
I did love someone we posted it in our group chat. It was like someone on Twitter is like, they'll never know it's me.
You need to apologise to Shawn Michael Dunn there, Dane, because he just posted in the chat, unbelievable.
I'm sorry, Sean.
As an Irish fan, I hate this version of Finn as well. As an Irish fan, as a fan who is Irish, got you, Sean.
I mean, same. I'm sorry.
But that, just the weird choice of head. But Shawn Michael Dunn has cheered 10 bits already, so
yay!
All with little shamrocks as well, which is adorable. Yes. Besides Finn Balor's, Finn is from Wicklow. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because they do say he's from Wicklow, County Ireland, County something. Is it? I might be wrong. Apologies, I'm butchering
County Wicklow. Yeah.
County Wicklow Island, yes, there we go, perfect. But yes, we've been far too obsessed with his choice of headwear rather than the actual match, which it was fine. It's a fine TV match, but it's a Judgment Day match, so Judgment Day get involved, and you think, they've got the numbers advantage, but no, Damien kicks out, delivers a south of heaven chokeslam, and he's won. And to be quite honest, the problem with it, as much as this was fine, it's very hard to take Judgment Day seriously as a threat anymore.
It really is.
Because Priest keeps whooping their butts.
And we might have more members now as well, but we'll get to that.
I'm Sean, no. I think I might do more damage in 5 minutes.
I think we've talked enough about Finn, except for the fact he got a little sad, he got his little Undertaker's face thing.
I called it the Eye of Horus myself.
It's like, why are you crying, Finn? Why are you crying? Why are you crying? Is it because you haven't had a donut for those abs?
Dane,
haven't happened.
Dane, in the words of the Who, no one knows what it's like to be the bad man. Behind the sad man, behind blue eyes. Okay?
We have jumped quite a bit from Master Donuts to behind blue eyes.
I mean, who gives a fuck? Finn does.
Look, it's Fuck Balor. His
I can't
name
do
is
that with
Finn
that. So I
Balor.
just did the little Finn Balor thing, like, and I thought, no, your arms have just disappeared, Matty.
I just side tangent. I'm just going to because I'm just having too much fun talking about this. Basically, when Finn had his old sort of like da 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 da, I kept going with the lyrics. Finn Balor is here. Yes, Finn Balor is here. Finn Balor is here. Yes, Finn Balor is here. His name is Finn Balor, and his name is like Valor. My partner at the time clearly did not enjoy me doing that after. It was that, and just simply, is your name Finn? No. Is it Balor? No. Well, you can't come into Balor Club. Just a whole queue of people just trying to go, is your name Finn? No. Well, you can't come in.
What are you like?
Okay, Bewitched.
I like me dad. C'est la vie.
You two do better Irish accents than I do. I'm ashamed of myself. I know a few sayings, so if you want to redeem them on Wednesday, I'll send some your way.
That was a song of the times, Bewitched and C'est la vie.
Bloody adored them.
I can confirm there was double denim in Ireland at the time. Jesus.
Everyone's just gone, what the hell's happened here? Well, this is the sort of energy we needed to get through most of Bad Blood.
It wouldn't be a review with the three of us unless something broke us. Challenge accepted.
Well, final thoughts on Balor and Priest.
It was fine. It was, like you said, it was just like a TV match that could have happened on Raw. Same old, same old. I don't know where it goes from here.
Yeah.
Especially going forward with the next story that's coming up and what we're talking about next. But I think it's still going to carry on, even though it should have finished a month ago. And I love like Damien and Rhea, but it's like, even Damien said in the post, because I watched the post show afterwards, and he was saying like him and Rhea kind of have to do things separately. So maybe that's a sign of like he's going to do something different. But I don't know. That's what I'm worried about. So in all, yeah, it was a fine match. Yeah, the right person won. Where it goes from here, I don't know.
I was entirely with you because I had the dawning realization because of match placement. Oh, well, this is just one ginormous Judgment Day filler arc because we literally had the Shark Cage match pretty much after the break. So we had a Judgment Day match and a Judgment Day match.
Yes.
Oh, no.
But before we got to the Shark Cage match, which didn't have any sharks, to the disappointment of Filoni. Hello, friends. Well, Trips came out to the ring for a historic.
Oh, God.
My voice broke there because it was historic announcement.
That actually worked perfectly.
He came out into the ring. It was the biggest gate for a WWE show. Of course it would be when your opening tickets are $200. Of course it's going to be a high-grossing gate. And he revealed something special about Crown Jewel. Basically, at Crown Jewel, there will now be an annual tradition of the men's WWE champion and the World Heavyweight champion, and also the female equivalents, the female WWE champion and female World Heavyweight champion. They will go one-on-one in a ring, and there will be a definitive winner, and they're not going to put their belts on the line, but they are going to get, and I have a picture here ready to share, if I can just find where I put it. Oh, it's not there. 2 seconds. I will need to find a picture to get it. I was prepared for this, and now it's failed.
We were prepared for it.
We were prepared for it. But yes, Triple H revealed a brand new championship, the Crown Jewel Championship, and I will get you a picture of that belt because, my God,
While you do that, shall we celebrate?
Celebrate. Yes. Oh, here we go.
That's the sad version.
I'm trying to find a decent picture that I can actually upload to this channel. No, that's too small.
While he gets the championship, shall we talk about it? Because when we were watching this live and in person, remotely in person,
in person remotely.
It was getting to the point where I was getting excited, and I was getting more and more excited while they were droning us on, to the point where Jeremy basically told me in his own unique way to shut up. I was they're merging the belts. They're merging the belts. We're finally getting the belts merged. Oh my god, guys, we're getting the belts merged.
And then he said, "Not again, Matty."
And then he said, like, oh yeah, but their belts are not on the line. I went, what? And he said, instead, they'll be fighting for this. And there we go. There's the segue we wanted.
And apparently Trips kind of went, there's a lot of crown jewels on this. Yes. It's a big belt.
Do you know what? It dwarfed the World Heavyweight Championship when Gunther came in.
Oh, it did.
It looked like double the size.
Basically, it will go to my it will go to my it will go it will basically go up to our pectoral muscles.
Yeah, literally
pretty much.
Here.
Yeah, we were literally comparing it to a corset.
It would be a good corset. Very expensive one.
So this pretty much takes over what would be the Survivor Series type one-on-one matches,
pretty much,
or bragging rights. Essentially, this is replacing the bragging rights trophy, and I immediately stopped caring. Like the moment he said it was just for this fancy Saudi Arabia belt. Look how green it is. Look how majestically large it is. That is a nice spangly gold amount of I don't give a shit. I'm sorry.
It's
a thing.
The crowd didn't like it because the crowd did not give a shit.
You know why? Because the crowd weren't from Saudi. This is for the Saudi crowd.
Oh, you could hear
announced it here.
You could hear the crowd dying in the background.
The belt's supposed to represent progressiveness. It's a progressive sports belt for a progressive nation. Oh.
I took my glasses off because I knew I was going to be rubbing my eyes a lot throughout this. Oh,
when I saw Crown Jewel, I was just like, this can't end good. And I was really hoping maybe it would be a mid-women's belt, but we haven't even seen the women's one because there is going to be one for the women as well.
It'll be the same, but on a weight strap.
It'll be like
guarantee it.
Yeah.
It'll be like the thing is, this could be like their equivalent of like the C2, the Continental Classic, which, by the way, they haven't announced in AEW this year, despite the fact they said there was one going to be happening this year, last year. I hope there's going to be another Continental Classic. I really do, because that was lovely last year. But I wish I could say it could be that. But he exclusively said the champions would be fighting for this.
So it's basically whoever is champion at the time of each brand.
But here's the problem I've got with this. The way he drummed this up, it was like history making. This is going to change the landscape of the WWE until Crown Jewel is done, basically. But they were talking this up like this was going to be the ultimate prize. I'm sorry. I always thought that the ultimate prize in wrestling would be the World Championship. Like, you're the literal champion of the world. So that instantly, right? This instantly makes all four of your world champions in your company nondescript. Because their championships mean nothing. That belt is the one until Crown Jewel is over, and then we'll forget about it. But that's it. That's what really does my head in about this whole entire thing.
I mean, it was a pointless announcement. Thank the wrestling gods that Gunther came out.
That segment, yeah.
To come and talk to his favorite wrestler, Goldberg, who was in the audience. But wait, Gunther had to be truthful to everyone. He lied. Goldberg's not his favorite wrestler.
How dare!
And basically said, "I hope you're a better father than you are a wrestler."
And
And that got Goldberg angry, and he was coming out. You wanted to see him spear Gunther just for the sake of it, but no security made sure that didn't happen. But they did not catch a Sami Zayn striking out of nowhere. Yes, I guess it's to build some heat for their championship match on Raw this Monday. Yeah, and it's just like, oh, we're going to get Gunther and Goldberg. Oh, that might be fun.
Go on, Harry.
I was going to say, I mean, you saw how genuinely excited I was for the fact that Gunther to come out and fight, Goldberg to come out and fight Gunther. I was like, come on. So just to spice it up a little bit. But yeah, I have a feeling it will happen at some point. They never said they wouldn't.
What a telling indictment of this PLE that this segment just sort of like segued into a brawl to a championship match, which was going to happen on Raw. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, here's a final point on the Crown Jewel Championship garbage.
Do we have to?
Just a thought. So if you're essentially moving Survivor Series bragging rights concepts to Crown Jewel, why the hell do you have a PLE called Survivor Series War Games?
In the same month.
Because that's not about that anymore, Dane. That's about War Games. I keep making this argument. Survivor Series is done. It is done. This is about War Games now. So it's basically team versus team in the ultimate team elimination. That's what War Games is. That's essentially what this is. It's Survivor Series, but upscaled up to a match that can either be incredibly bad or incredibly awesome, depending on how you book it. But the whole point of Survivor Series now is done and dusted. You've split it into 2 PLEs. That's it now. Just drop Survivor Series. I know it's tradition. I know people lobbied to keep it when, like, the guy who shall not be named wanted to get rid of it. But you've got War Games now. This is it. The month of November is War Games month. That's it.
Yeah. Let's move on to Judgment Day Part 2, shall we?
Oh, God. I was into this match as well.
Same.
Yes, it's Liv Morgan defending the World Women's Heavyweight Championship against Rhea Ripley with Dominic Mysterio, that cheeky chappy, being put in a shark cage, dangling over the runway, not the ring, which was disappointing. I mean, usually they have the shark cage over them, but then they'll have to build an extra cage. Then they'll have to do an extra live stream for how they built the cage for the shark cage. It's layers upon layers. It's a layered cage.
Ladies and gentlemen, and our non-binary friends, Dane was incredibly excited to be watching the construction of the Hell in the Cell prior to the pay-per-view, everybody.
I watched it instead of Strictly. That was good entertainment to watch, I'm not going to lie.
It's like 1 hour in, they built the top. Amazing. 2 hours in, they built the second part. Brilliant. Third hour, it's above the ring. Exactly what we wanted. And the fire pyro has been set up. Great.
It's the new ASMR. You see how things are built.
Yes.
I will defend this as patronizing as I made that sound, right? One of the best parts of the post show on Bash in Berlin is where we were watching the set being deconstructed behind the panelists as they were talking. I was fixated on them tearing down the ring. It was awesome.
But back to the shark cage match.
Yeah.
Where are the sharks, Dane? Where are the sharks?
Segues just sound like casually passive aggressive. Back to the shark cage match, by the way.
Because we know what happened.
Yeah, I mean, this was a decent match. I think again, Liv and Rhea have really good chemistry, and they had a great sort of back and forth. It only kind of escalated when Dom managed to get out the cage, which Jeremy did point out was not even locked to begin with. So when people are going, how did he escape? I was like, they didn't even put a bloody padlock on it.
Like, just could have just gone, and then that's it.
Jeremy was incredibly incensed over the fact that the shark cage wasn't fastened shut. He was like, why is even the point? He's like...
That's how sharks get in, Matty. That's how sharks get into the cage. That's how Dom gets eaten by a shark. Oh, wait,
and as
when in water.
And as we all know, sharks, well known for swimming in fresh air. They fly towards you.
Oh, I got a cramp in my foot.
I mean, best kind of sharks are the land sharks. They'll attack you from the sea and the air and the ground. How dare they?
If it was He Who Shall Not Be Named era, basically what would happen is someone would have been dressed up as a shark chasing Dominic at some point.
Yeah.
Just going, I'm going to get you. I'm going to bite you. I'm going to bite you.
With an egg.
You know what?
I mean, if they could dress up Nick Nemeth as Colonel Sanders, they could dress someone up as Jaws. God damn it!
You know what? I don't care. That I know it's an advert, but him as Colonel Sanders is WWE blinking canon to me. That's law. That happens.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Dominic Mysterio overall was the star of the show in this entire match because he acted his little booty off that entire show. The best thing is where there was the Dominic Mysterio branded toilet paper.
Which you can buy.
Which you can buy. It's on WWEshop.com. We're not paid by them to say that, but it's there if you want to buy it. I'm sure it's like 50 quid or something for a single roll.
Probably.
But oh no, he's going to look, isn't he?
Of course.
But, so while Dane goes and looks up how much toilet paper costs, so Dominic Mysterio, like his reactions, the way he acted, the whole how did he escape the shark cage? It's like it wasn't fastened shut or anything. But the entire thing where we thought, no, Dom, no, don't fall. Like, don't fall a little yard down to the ground, but don't fall. And it was like, we didn't know that his leg was like fastened to the chains and he was just dangling there. And then the best thing about this is when Rhea started attacking him like he was a pinata. And that is when we started saying, don't beat him up. You might get the candy from within. You don't want Dominic's candy.
No. What was it she said? Oh, happy birthday to me.
Yeah.
Is it your birthday, Rhea? No.
She could have made it any party. She could have said Feliz Navidad at some point, and then
sidebar to Corey Graves' commentary track about Rhea's love life. It's like she doesn't need Dominic in her life anymore. She needs a big man, an Australian man, maybe with muscles. I mean, she's married Buddy, but okay, I just found that really funny. Maybe she needs a big man.
Maybe a man who knows that the house always wins.
Wasn't tubs of ice cream mentioned at one point as well?
Yes, at least a tub of ice cream. So Dominic Mysterio toilet paper, only available in the US, is $13.
$13? What, for a single loo roll?
Just for a single roll? Oh, God. Then again, back in the day when everything was going crazy, that's how much it cost for like a normal... Oh,
then they're missing a trick.
There's a description here. Dirty Dominic Mysterio has used some nasty tactics to get one over his former mommy, Rhea Ripley. So give him the same treatment with this Dominic Mysterio toilet paper. This bathroom necessity features the face of Rey Mysterio's ungrateful son printed on it. So you know exactly what to do with that mug.
Oh, God.
Oh my God. By the way, Peter Sidden in the YouTube chat said that Corey at one point said that she needed a buddy.
I mean, I will admit, when he fell out of that cage, I honestly thought that's it, he's dead. But then when I saw him dangling, I legitimately did get scared, and I was just like, it makes sense why the ref was kind of making sure he was okay. They were, tying the rope or the chain around him. But I did like the whole thing of him being afraid of heights. And that's, that kind of, like the acting, like you said, it played into that very well. So he was literally like that all the way through, just sort of clinging to the bottom of the cage.
Yeah, he was waiting for the sharks to come and attack him from the skies. That's what he was waiting for. I say this as Fel Flowney has now entered the chat.
Hey! Oh, God.
But yes, Rhea goes to have some fun with a dangling Dominic Mysterio pinata, and out of nowhere, a returning Raquel Rodriguez. Yay, good to see her back after a long time. She came back, she attacked Rhea, and then sort of dragged her back to the ring, hit a move, and then while the bell for DQ had been rung, she put Liv on top of Rhea. I don't think that was the finish. I think the finish was Liv was probably supposed to pin Rhea.
Yeah, I think something went a bit wrong there. I hated this ending. I really did. Liv could have easily pinned Rhea, but it didn't have to end that way.
It was a lead balloon.
Mm-hmm.
We were getting into a fun rhythm of this match, and then it was like, what's going on? Ding ding. Oh.
Yeah, literally, boom. That was it. I literally just like the
mandatory fun is over.
That's what it felt like. It did.
Triple H is going, you're having too much fun with this match. Ring the bell.
Damn it, Trips. You ruin everything.
I don't know. I don't know if there probably will be a report whether or not it was a kind of a botched ending, because my guess is Rhea was supposed to be attacked by Raquel, and then Raquel would put Liv on top of Rhea to do the pinfall. But because the ref saw it, the ref had to obviously do the DQ. I think in this, considering now that they are looking at referee decisions a bit more. I mean, obviously from a kind of storytelling perspective, and obviously they turned Orton and Gunther's one into a reason for a match.
You make a valid point, because it was at this point, this match, that they introduced the ref cam. A thing that throughout our viewing of it, we were complaining we wanted, demanded more ref cams. And then for the last two matches of the card, we had ref cams. So it's obvious that they introduced that at this point as a way to prove that the ref wasn't seeing the action at the point that it was happening. Yeah. Unfortunately, they didn't bank on the fact that the ref was there watching the action.
Yeah. There was, I think, for that match in particular, there was a bit of the ref camera where he just went, I just want 1 minute. Can you give me 1 minute? And then I'll come back into the match. And that was when all the pinata stuff started.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if this means Rhea's going on to a match or a series with Raquel, great. That's nice. We can find a way back to the World Championship at some point.
Yeah.
But then you got two heels for this Crown Jewel Championship bollocks. You've got Liv versus Nia.
Oh.
I'm going to clarify something that Fel Flannelly has mentioned in the chat here, where they said, I'm amazed that there's a ref in these things, considering someone earlier tried to remove someone else's eye with a wrench. It's the problem with Hell in a Cell is literally all a ref is there for is to count a decision, whether it be a pinfall, a submission. This is why we hated it when they did ref stoppage during the Seth and the Fiend match a few years ago, because that's not what a ref is supposed to do in a Hell in a Cell. It's literally they are just there to do the 1, 2, 3 or the submission. Literally, they're not there to stop the match. The whole point of a Hell in a Cell is you're trapped in there, go to town, brutalize each other until somebody basically just stops. You know, that's the whole point. Whereas the rest of these matches, absolutely, the ref was there to count decisions, do DQs, all that other stuff.
I was going to say, because I think there was another time, I think the year before that bad Hell in a Cell match, they had Braun versus up against Roman, and Roman had just won the Universal Championship, and then Brock Lesnar turned up, ripped off the cage door, did some F5s, so well, the match is over now, everyone, bye!
Yeah, it's so dumb. It's so dumb.
It's so dumb. But thankfully, it has not been done in the last couple of times they've done the match now. Anyway, so that was the Shark Cage match. It was. I think it was getting to a good stride, but then I think the finish really kind of sucked the air out of the building.
Yeah.
And then it was time for a main event. It was Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns taking on the New Bloodline, led by world famous weekend cosplayer Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. I'm never going to let this go.
No amount of bands and orchestras could cover over the fact that this match should have been a SmackDown match.
Oh,
it should have been the opener.
Or should have been the opener, yeah.
Yeah.
I won't lie, I was bored by this match.
Yeah. But first, before we got to the banality of the match, we did have the "my entrance is better than your entrance" game. Where the Bloodline come out with the usual sort of music, nothing special about it. And then there's a big marching band from the Atlanta University doing the good old trumpet version of Cody Rhodes' Kingdom, to the point that sometimes they were going too fast with the music, or they couldn't really lap up with what the WWE music was supposed to do. So that was a bit weird. Cody came out in Skeletor mask. Okay.
Again.
Nah.
Might as well make use of it. It's probably was worth a lot.
He came in, did his usual entrance, and then though that marching band, they turned into an orchestra. There were cellos, there were violins, there were people on drums, there was even choirs standing on the barricades.
I was very impressed how they were able to fit them all in.
To serenade Roman Reigns to the ring, who arguably has got there the quickest time in most of his times as tribal chief. I think we were quite stunned. It was less than about 5 minutes.
Who timed it? It was Jeremy, wasn't it?
It's 3 minutes 26 seconds.
Me and Harry placed a bet. Harry ultimately won because she was less time than me. But I said 7.5 minutes, and Harry said 5.
I said 5. Yeah.
But yes, they're right. They were ready for the match. And we got on the way, and my God, for the first 10 minutes, this was
by the numbers.
I just wanted saucy nugs.
I mean, by the time you would have ordered Wendy's and have it arrive, it probably would have been more entertaining.
let's call them by the way. Let's call them by the way we call them: saucy nugs. Saucy nugs.
This match should have. This match. Oh, I think we also got to the point where we were actually trying to dub over Roman and Cody's conversations. It's like, after this, we're going to Wendy's, right? Yeah. What do you want to get?
Barbecue?
Saucy nugs? Saucy nugs? Yeah, saucy nugs. I'm famished. I could have some of like the Parmesan ones, or even like the smoked barbecued ones. Oh yeah, should we go fight them? All right.
My stomach is gargling now because.
That's how banal this match was until hot tag before like the big hot tag. Why was I saying hot dogs for a second? I'm hungry now.
It also didn't help that for the first time in a long time in a Roman Reigns match, we kind of knew there was a time limit because we knew with the UFC pay-per-view literally taking over the slot with I think about a half an hour gap in the middle. We knew that there had to be a literal end point with this match, and it did go over by about 10 minutes in the end. It went over by, but we knew from the schedule the post show was supposed to start at 2:15 in the morning for us.
Yeah,
and I think it finished at around 25 minutes past. Yeah. So we kind of this is just filling for time near to the end of the show now.
Yeah. Well, when it I'm sorry, Harry.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say with this match, it just seems to be. The beginning was very boring. It seems like a repeat of what happened when Solo faced Cody last month. It's just now you've got 2 other people, so it's just double the time, and it's just like, no, can we just get to like the bit where we wait because we were waiting for something to happen at the end,
I think it's a damning indictment that throughout this entire match, like Jacob Fatu, we got to call it what it is. He is one hell of a talent. And we did get a sense that anything that Solo Sikoa could do, Jacob Fatu could do far, far better. I'm not going to damn Solo Sikoa. I think he's an amazing wrestler, being put in a very unfortunate position. I am going to state my case now. When this new Bloodline feud started months ago, we all thought that the tribal chief that he was acknowledging was The Rock. That's their tribal chief in their eyes. And this would lead to The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Then suddenly he started anointing himself as the tribal chief. And I think that's where the problems started happening. That's when all the problems started transpiring, because all of the new members of the Bloodline, with the exception of Jacob Fatu, so my brain's just turning to mush again. With the exception of him and Solo, all of the new people that were coming in were from the Haku side of the family, which were in a sort of blood brothership with the Maivia end of the family. And I've said this in previous reviews, which means it was leaning very heavily towards The Rock and The Rock's end of that family. And then we started seeing the shades of grey where we got Jacob Fatu, we got Solo anointing himself as a tribal chief. And I think that's where the problem started to show, because Solo is a fantastic right-hand guy and fulfilled that role credibly, but he's not the main guy. And I don't think he's quite ready to be the main guy. And when you start having people around him that could easily blow that role away, like a Jacob Fatu. And of course, I suppose there's a Tonga Loa. Let us not disrespect the incredibility of one Tonga Loa. But I think that's where the problem lies. But also, Peter Siddon, to bring it back around, he said earlier on in the chat that this wasn't WWE booking. This was Dwayne booking.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I believe him, because what is the lasting image of this match?
Well, we'll get to that bit in a second, because we need to finish up what happens in this match, because all things start kicking into gear. Cody flings himself through the air, through the table. Obviously, the Bloodline turn up. It's a Bloodline match. Of course, there's going to be shenanigans, which Roman pretty kind of dusted off quite quickly, and was also able to win thanks to the return of Jimmy Uso, which we haven't seen since, I think, April. So really good to see him back. Now we get a sense that the gang are getting back together now, because it's clear we're going towards old Bloodline versus new Bloodline. And yes, thanks to Jimmy's interference, one good spear to Solo ends the match. And that was pretty much it. Roman and Jimmy, they embraced. They were heading on their way. And then Cody got jumped by the Bloodline again. And Roman had to wait a minute. He thought, no, I'm done with this. I'm done with this. But Jimmy went, no, we should go help him. Roman, all right, fine.
One last thought I will say before I'll just basically leave you two to talk about this. Cody Rhodes, our WWE champion, did not feel like the star of this match.
Nope. He did not.
Not one bit. And I'll leave it with you guys.
It did seem like he was the filler, and he's the champion.
And and we start the ending with Roman giving the belt back to Cody. Obviously a bit of tension, but there's a bit of respect there. And then I think also kind of called this saying, there's got to be The Rock coming out. Of course The Rock came out. Final boss came back. He just popped out at the top of the ramp, just stared down. We had a really good shot of the people's eyebrow, and he kind of went 1, 2, 3, and then did kind of like I'm gonna cut your throat side of things. Does that mean Cody? Does that mean the three of them in the ring? Who knows? We'll probably find out at some point of that. But that wasn't where the pay-per-view actually ended, because basically The Rock was doing that on Instagram at the same time, because the moment he walked out, the Instagram feed continued, and he just had a massive little promo, just nothing much, just highlighting a lot of things that he's annoyed about. He's just going, The Rock's back, the final boss. The Rock's back. Hello there, sir. How are you doing? I'm The Rock. Good. And he just walks out the arena. He's just basically going, I've done that. I'm going to walk out this arena now. Hello, sir. How are you today? Yes, I'm The Rock. I've got the People's Championship belt. It was given to you by Muhammad Ali's widow. It's a great belt to have. Goes straight out into the car park and going, look at all these people. Look at Stone Cold Steve Austin. Let's have beer and tequila together. Yes. Walks and sees Dusty Rhodes and goes, I love you, Dusty Rhodes. I hate your son. Sees John Cena, Fruity Pebbles.
That's my favorite line with Dusty.
You know that in the WWE Network in its prime, they would show like the occasional episode of Raw, and they would they will literally tack on the bit of the WWE stuff that went on after the cameras stopped rolling. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin having a sing song and all of that stuff, or an extra beer bath and that. They should do this with like the Instagram and social media posts of its wrestlers, because that was amazing. That was amazing. And it left you with the lasting impression of the star of the pay-per-view, The Rock, who just turns up at the end and does bugger all. Yeah, I'm not happy about that. I'm not bitter at all. But also
bitter.
So are we going to talk about the other bit of Cody action we got up post-show?
Yes, we kind of have to. So there was also a situation that happened after the show. Cody's chatting with Kevin Owens in the car parking lot. Fans are recording this, and yes, all of a sudden KO attacks Cody beats him up. Everyone seems to like beating him up against his bus. I don't know why. The Rock did it, and now Kevin Owens has done it, and then KO just kind of skedaddled out of there. And yeah, a bit of a heel turn there.
Branding. I mean, he advertises whiskey on the bus, so yeah.
No, I said a bit of a heel turn. No, this seems to be a heel turn. Oh, yeah. So we'll see how that develops.
I'm very confused as to why they did this after the show, and for it to be filmed by the people, because I put this in the chat. Literally, I saw this moments after it was announced, and it was kind of like, it was from like so many different angles, like from the fans. So it wasn't actually filmed from WWE's perspective. So WWE didn't really report on this at all. It was more, this is the fans' footage, and then that's how it was covered. So it's just like, maybe he was mad because he posed with Roman and Jimmy at the end. Who knows? Maybe Kevin had enough. But it's kind of interesting how they used this angle when no one was really filming it from WWE's perspective. I mean, obviously, when SmackDown hits next week, they'll probably obviously use their footage of that and put that in and be like, why, Kevin? Why? Sort of thing. And it's just like, well, this has been building for a while. And yeah, I kind of like, I don't know. It's a choice, I will say, but we'll see.
I think you're on the money when you said it will be used on SmackDown, because what the WWE have been very good at in recent times is taking said fan footage, taking out of show stuff, taking social media and utilizing it in packages to further their own storylines. I mean, we saw it with the Wrestle Talk footage, which you two are a part of. You are a part of WWE lore now, because the footage that you guys are in have been used in packages like throughout the past 2 years now. They're very, very good at doing this. This was quite deliberate on their part. They know what they're doing. This is going to further something on SmackDown this week. So I'm okay with it. I'm absolutely okay with it, because even though it wasn't on the show, like, the lasting effects will be felt this coming week.
Technically, we were on TNA as well.
Yeah, TNA did that, but the problem is that TNA, when they started doing that, it felt like such an orchestrated thing when they did that. When, oh no, now it's real. Now the cameras look kind of filmic behind the scenes. Unless I'm thinking about something else they tried in recent history. But yeah,
I'll still take it.
Yeah. I'm loving what the WWE have been doing, like, on social media as of late. This feels like a cut above what we had in old regimes yet again. I will say though that in the next PLE they've got to up their game from this one. They really have, because we've had a series of PLEs now where no matter where you tune in, whether it was the pre-show, the main show, or the post-show, it all felt like one cohesive synergy, as it were. It felt like it was a proper program. This did not. Bad Blood had a bunch of talking heads next to an empty room with Sam, and I can't remember her name.
She was
I think, is it Megan Moran?
I think she's off the bump. I think they're using her in other
I think
things
it's Megan Moran.
Yeah,
I might be wrong.
I think she's I think she's also in NXT. But yeah, this didn't gel right with me. Whereas we've had such an escalation of things like go put the post show on in the background. It will be fine. This will then bleed to the main show. This will then bleed to the post show. We've had so many instances of that now where it felt like it was unmissable.
I've just remembered something. So in the post conference, Triple H said, and it's suddenly remembered, said Cody can't make it. I didn't hear why, but I'm guessing maybe that was what happened in between. Like, maybe he just heard wind of like, oh, Cody's just been attacked, but don't say anything, sort of thing. I don't know. So that could really play into it as well. Maybe. I don't think they really use press conferences in footage, do they? In Raw or SmackDown, do they? So maybe the commentators might bring it up or something, so to speak.
Well, it's like some of the fans recording is that a fan or is that a plant? That's the other thing as well. So if but then again, I might be wrong.
Guaranteed that footage will be used.
Oh, it'll be used on Raw tomorrow. It'll be on Raw tomorrow. Anyway,
I've quickly checked WWE just to see if anyone has. They haven't officially put anything up on it at all on Twitter or on Facebook. So
they're waiting their time. They're waiting their time. They're trying to give it the realism, as it were, and then we will get it on SmackDown. Probably not so much Raw, but definitely SmackDown.
We will see. Yes, because the next destination for us is, unfortunately, Crown Jewel.
Yay.
So, yeah, don't expect much story advancements happening there in future. But, of course, we will endeavor to cover the journey to the next PLE and beyond. So that is going to bring things to a close here on today's episode of BunkaMania UK. Thank you so much. And before we finish up, we do have a shout out from Sean Michael Dunn for Finn Balor.
Our favourite Finn.
Our favourite evil Finn. Anyway, so yes, we will be back very, very soon. I believe we'll be back no more than about next week because I believe Wrestle Dream is on the horizon.
Let us figure that out because Jeremy is now catching up post-COVID, so there's a good chance that his availability might be up in the air. But I certainly want to try and do a review for Wrestle Dream. So we will broach that when we get to it.
Of course. So, yes, hopefully we'll have something to do with Wrestle Dream from AEW next week. In terms of our content at the moment, you can also catch up on BunkaMania Goes to the Movies, our special wrestling movie review of The Chaperone, where the three of us, two happily watching it, one clearly not, enjoyed, or well, we didn't really enjoy, it wasn't really much fun, The Chaperone, but we had a good time talking about it anyway. And, yes, I've caused painful memories for Matty already. And if you missed it and would like to catch up, we did our first live quiz smash of the new series back this past Wednesday. So if you want to see what went down in our first little fun live stream quiz, you're more than welcome to do so. It's available on YouTube and on Twitch right now. And of course, we all have our own sort of separate content stuff that we also do. And Harriet, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter/X at MangaGirl232. That's where I usually post where I'm going to show my stuff on Twitch or on YouTube. And speaking of Twitch, you can find me Harriet_MangaGirl. I stream once a week on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. This week, I don't know what to play because we're coming up to October. I'm trying to think of a few short horror games to play, but in the meantime, probably might play Castlevania this week because I've been really enjoying that. And on YouTube, MangaGirl232. The next reaction video probably will be a Star Wars video at the end of the month, so it's going to be the last Friday in October, which is when the album is out. So that's when you'll see reactions from me there. So I usually, if you just follow me on Twitter, that's where I'll post all my links and what I'm doing that week.
Thank you very much, Maddie.
You can find me trying to escape the sharks that are trying to attack us from the skies because they really are a really deadly species and we must be aware of them. But other than that, you can find me on X under Matty Boo Tweets. You can find me on Threads and Instagram under Matty Boo Super. And I also stream? I stream on weekends. I'm currently going through The Wolf Among Us on Saturday nights. I'll be taking a bit of a hiatus from that this coming weekend because I will be away and then I will possibly be reviewing Wrestle Dream on Sunday. So I've cleared my schedule for that. But when I come back, we will be doing episode 4 of The Wolf Among Us. I also do the matinee on the Sunday mornings. I watch an episode of Nightmare, an episode of the Power Stone cartoon, and I also play a few days of Stardew Valley, a nice chill game for people to get up and watch while they have their breakfast. It's a good time. You can find that under Matty Boo Tweets.
Thank you very much. And of course, you can follow me over on Twitch at the Dekker Dane. I stream every Monday at 8 p.m. and occasionally Wednesday early evenings as well. Mondays is Watch Along, where you watch old stuff, old cartoon shows, old TV shows. So there's horror. It's Halloween, so we might be diving into some familiar territories, such as Ghost Dimensions very, very soon. And Wednesdays, I do some wacky Fortnite, where I just basically play Fortnite, and you can help or hinder my progress. It's completely down to you. But that is going to do it for today here on BunkaMania UK. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a lovely week, and we will see you guys very, very soon. From me, the Dekker Dane, from Harriett, and from Matty, hopefully there's no more bad blood out there. Good night.